they are free. We were enslaved.
Listen, when you have a family reunion, your family reunion should not just be for hugs and oh, I love you and I miss you.
This generation, and I'm not blaming, guys or girls, but it's just the way our culture is now. It's like a lot of times, everybody talks for forever. There's no like real commitment.
The reason for that gap is just really not understanding, not relating, not taking the time. Sometimes the younger generation take the elderly for granted. They feel like they know they've contributed something, but because they don't know what the things that they've contributed to help them make roads easier for them, they don't realize how impactful it was until they actually sit down and have a talk with that elderly person that walked through the civil rights movement.
The year was 1954, and the Brown versus the Board of Education case was the talk of the nation. Although the Supreme Court outlawed segregation at public schools, it wasn't until 1960 when Ruby Bridges, the first African-American girl at the tender age of 6, would integrate into an all-white elementary school. This would begin to change the culture of not only America, but also the culture within the black community.
They definitely knew that by dividing us up, it would weaken us as a force.
We wasn't crying about being able to go to school with them or integrate with them. We just wanted to be treated equally. That's all. That's all it was. That's all.
In high school, I was an athlete, and we expected our athletes to stay at our school. And once that collar was taken off the kids, you go to school, what school you wanted to, a lot of the guys decided that they wanted to go to the white schools.
According to Dr. Boyce Watkins, author of the book Black American Money, in an article written in 2013 titled, "Was Integration a Good Thing for Black People? Probably not." He describes integration as a prolonged assimilation, where we moved into someone else's home while giving up the keys to our own. Once integration began, slowly, black schools and businesses began to shut down.
When it was really booming, you had a hospital, you had dentist offices, you had jazz, you had a little bit of everything. Restaurants, cleaners, just like you would have in any other community. But once communities integrated, a lot of the people who could afford it moved away. And so then it got run down and that kind of thing.
In my neighborhood, I knew the streets from here all the way around. I knew all the streets. I knew just about all the people, and everybody knew me. But now I don't know 3 streets in my neighborhood where I stay, and I've been out there for 37 years, and I don't know 3 streets. And so the integration, it helped us, and then again it hindered us a little too also.
Listen, when you have a family reunion, your family reunion should not just be for hugs and oh, I love you and I miss you. It should be looking at your history, and you begin to develop by generations. I'm in one generation. My daughter is the next generation. One of her sons helped build a database to capture all of our history.
There are 6 generations in America: the GI generation, the traditionalists, and the baby boomers, Generation X, Millennials, and Generation Z. Although each generation is vastly different from the other, one thing they all have in common is that new ideas, technological advancements, and social issues all take on a different meaning.
Then we ask, who has jobs that they can actually hire people? So if you got a job that you can hire, you are going to conduct interviews, you're going to show about how to do resumes, you're going to hire them if you can. Now, I'm not saying hire people don't know anything. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying these people got talent. So you need to tell them what they need to do and what you will find in your family. You will find people with a broad range of talent, from not only from educators to people in major corporations to people who design software, you name it, and you'll find it. So if you put 3 generations together, there's no way you can lose, because you're going to continue to pass it on.
We could walk down the street and we meet certain people. We didn't mind speaking, but the kids nowadays, they'll curse you out before they want to speak to you.
We didn't have all the gadgets kids have today, and we need to take some of those gadgets away, because what I noticed, kids in 3rd and 4th grade, they can't even carry on a conversation because they want to,
The kids now, they want to sit in the house and play Nintendo and PlayStation and watch TV. My era was get outdoors and play.
We want to know why they fat. They fat because they don't play, or they eat the wrong foods. They'll eat pizza every day if you let them.
I have been married 51 years, and that's a long time for a couple to stay together. It wasn't all good, but we managed.
Men were a lot more intentional with their pursuits of a woman, and meaning that since the way it was back then was that, the guy would, meet the parents and take all of those, proper steps, and it was not as easy to take advantage of a girl or the situation. Like, you knew that if you wanted to go out with this girl, you had to come correct, meaning, like, okay, I'm about to meet this girl's parents. Like, I need to make sure, I got my stuff together.
Man, social media is a whole bunch of BS now. Being real, I done seen relationships fold because of Facebook, Instagram, liking the post, disliking the post, commenting, taking a picture with somebody, the way y'all position.
You have a lot more relationships that are start through social media, whereas back in the day, they didn't have Facebook. They couldn't slide in your DMs, meaning if they wanted to approach you, they had to really approach you. They couldn't just hide behind the phone.
Most people put all their business out in relationships, and a lot of people don't like that, so I don't think it helps people. People just, it's good if you want to broadcast it, but not if you're trying to build it up.
We live in a generation, we like to show our assets a lot. Whereas if you go back some generations, it's like those women who showed certain assets would pretty much be looked down upon. But we live in a generation now where you're glorified when you're showing certain things.
And I want to ask him, why do you wear your pants like that? But I hate the fact that he gonna give me a smart answer.
There was a young man walking. I'm not kidding you. His pants were just above his knees, and I was like, "Hey!" He was with adults, and I'm like, "How can you walk around with your pants like that?" And he immediately reached and got them, pulled them all the way up. If you don't say anything and you don't try to teach them, they won't. People just won't do better.
People like to disrespect their elders nowadays because they think it's cool, but it's not cool.
The one thing we were taught family values, look out for your family, you're to be respectful, you're to help your elderly, you're to go to church.
Like on some wild stuff, like we were just walking and we just seen an old dude, and he was like, "You got 50 cents?" No, he knocked him out. We just kept moving. But I'm not like that anymore.
There's no Christ in their life at all. None. They think the Bible is obsolete.
Because
There's an old saying that goes, the most segregated time in America is on Sundays. Blacks would attend one church, while whites would attend their own separate church. Slavery was a devastating time period in the black community, leaving families to be separated from one another. Men subjected to watching their women being raped and beaten, leaving them feeling helpless and vulnerable. But one Sunday morning came around. All of the burdens from that week were washed away, even if it was just for a few hours.
It plays significant for our well-being. It plays significant for us to be able to get through the difficulties of life. My grandmother is 82. The way that she was brought up on how she practiced religion is totally different from what I need.
We would have devotion. We would sing a song, we would say the Lord's Prayer, we would sing a closing song. You go to your homeroom, you do that same thing every day. This happened for 12 years. And anytime you start the program off good like that, you start your day off, it gives you a positive thing in life.
Now, preachers are sometimes afraid over the pulpit to speak about what's going on, whether it's in government, in the lives of, of the society.
See, back then, you could do devotional, you can do a hymn, and the preacher hooping and hollering, and they got what they needed. Today, we got to go into the explanation of the word, the explanation of what the pastor is saying. Why? Show me in the word, show me in the Bible. They got to be able to connect with the message in order for them to sit in their heart.
I was told I was crazy. I was told all kinds of things. I can't believe you going. I said I want to move to Frenchtown, and they just thought I lost it. But I knew I had not. And the one thing that I got from that is that you never forget your history, and you need to make sure you go back. And if you got a grandparent house or your own house, you need to go back to your city and save it.
Everybody works on campus doing different things, but we wanted something different for them to be able to connect with the older generation. They get up in little groups and just want to sit down, and you have to I had literally okay, you go sit by this elderly person, you go sit by, and you're gonna help them. They have bingo.
And when I came back, it was just it was just neglected. I'm not kidding. It was liquor balls. You see all those hand-painted balls? I do it for a reason, because it would just be drunks across the way. I bought this house to turn it into a gallery. Glad you brought it back and that kind of thing, because this is where all of Tina Turner, everybody, B.B. King, the Adderley Brothers, jazz, and all that stuff was here. It was right here. And so what we decided we wanted to do was begin to bring some of that back and let them experience it, and not only just the buildings change, we wanted to maintain some of that culture as well.
Young black brother and sister, why are some of us so quick to stand in long lines for the latest sneakers and technology, but yet some of our children aren't able to read, write, divide, subtract, and multiply? Young black brother, why do some of you hit our young black sisters? Who told you that made you a man, huh? What knucklehead told you that? Young black sister, why don't some of us love ourselves enough to know that we don't need artificial enhancements in order to be more appealing? Young black brother and sister, why are conceiving babies more praised than marriages in our community? Young black brother and sister, why do some of us think that the only way to make it out of the hood is through sports or selling dope? Don't you know that you can't allow your circumstances and environment to tear you down, but use it to uplift you, to rise higher and higher and higher?
Rise like the day, I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves, we'll rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000.
Loud music with the music like this.
Y'all shooting a movie or something?
Yeah, man.
What kind of movie y'all shooting?
It's a documentary for a journalism class.
FAMU?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.